J.J. Watt. You might remember him. Number 99 of the program. Player. Number 1 in your hearts. Softball game?
It's a good softball player, I've heard.
Interesting.
He plays in a game, at least.
Astros? Just kidding. At least they're hitting with runners in scoring position. That, not the problem for the Astros this weekend. 6 runs, 7 runs, 7 runs in their 3 games against the Angels. But J.J. Watt was asked for his opinion about the CJ Stroud media tour. He's been talking a lot. Here's what he had to say.
I don't mind it as long as you back it up. That's how it always goes. Sports are backing it up. I mean, talking on the Colts, he beat the Colts. So we won the division. We beat the Colts for the division.
You guys are doing a lot of chirping. You win one playoff
I'm just
game
saying.
100
I'm
years.
just saying.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, I think that's competitors, especially once you start to, I mean, I've been in that situation before, during my career. You put yourself out there a lot. You're welcoming feedback onto yourself.
Yeah.
Then you have to go out there and perform, and sometimes it makes you perform even better.
I'm a little annoyed by Pat McAfee saying the Texans have 1 playoff win in 100 years. A little annoyed by that.
And they're trying to, create a little rivalry here. A real football player versus a punter,
The Colts' last playoff victory was against the Houston Texans, but it was Saturday, January 5th of 2019. So it's been a while,
Man.
Including over a stretch where the Texans didn't do much in the playoffs. But to just look at how much we've heard from CJ Stroud this offseason. Any annoyance, or are you liking how open he is with it?
Yeah, I'm a little annoyed.
You're a little annoyed.
I just think he's talking a lot. Like, he's got to back it up this year. And part of the reason why I think that is because I was trying to find it after I heard this quote the first time from JJ. But JJ was on Part of My Take shortly after you retired, and he talked about how, he regretted not the public talking, but the amount of endorsements and things like that he was doing to take him away from football as he had his early success with the Texans. That really as his career exploded, he talked about how he spent too much time away from football and focusing on other things. And he sometimes wish he had that back a little bit. And that's kind of just CJ's everywhere. I get it. He's a star. But Patrick Mahomes is not doing this. Josh Allen is not doing this. Lamar Jackson is not doing this. So you can shoot your shot, but as JJ said in this clip, you got to back it up if you're going to be doing all this stuff.
They did win that game against the Colts at the end of the year. If those guys are talking trash to you, in a way, though, I mean, why can't he clap back?
I guess I view it more as just the general stuff of all the podcast appearances and everything that he's doing, and that's where I'm annoyed by it.
It was back in February. He did the NBA celebrity game and the Travis Scott celebrity game in 24 hours.
Yeah.
Where it's just when we've gotten CJ Stroud, we've gotten a lot of CJ Stroud. Obviously, the world tour he went on with Micah Parsons. So I get what you're saying, Joe.
I do kind of like that. I do. I think I mentioned this the other day. I would like this to turn into something. The Texans don't have anything that gets me excited on something. I like football games, but there's no rivalry.
Even with Pat McAfee, every time he's on with JJ and throws shots at the Texans, I am just okay, dude. Whatever.
Hey, man, I recovered an onside kick against you guys back in the day.
Yes, Pat said that's the loudest he's ever heard a stadium. Was right before that happened. Was NRG.
Texas Colts?
Which blew my mind.
That is surprising to me too.
I was why are you gassing them up for no reason? Because there's no way that's true.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Also, I assume he played in other stadiums at some point.
He also played in a Super Bowl.
Well, Super Bowl's got that wine and cheese corporate crowd.
That's true, but it was Prince.
That's why they never opened the roof at NRG Stadium. Hashtag home field advantage. Dabs. J.J. Watt, also with Pat McAfee, was asked if it's going to be the greatest year in the history of the Houston Texans. Give me that deep steel blue pill, Sean.
I mean, I think when you look at the roster construction, when you look at D'Amico and what he was able to do last year in his first year, and then you give him another full offseason with this group and the people they've added to it, I think that the expectations are very, very high for this group.
And you're going to.
I also know how difficult the NFL is.
Why are you doing all the bullshit?
They went to ask him tomorrow, I think, about if he was going to play or not. And then he gave one of his JJ wires. I'm working out every day, but I don't know, and I might not.
I do like Pat calling him out at the very end.
Yeah, I'm kind of over like the whole J.J. Watt's going to come back.
I'm much more over
He's
that
not going to play.
than I am over the idea that CJ Stroud is talking too much this offseason.
Yeah, the JJ thing seems like way far-fetched at this point that he's ever going to play.
It feels like a thing where it's had like 2 different news cycles already, and now every time he's on with McAfee, they have to ask him about it to try to get a 3rd news cycle out of it.
I think it's
like,
because,
guys, no one's buying this.
I think Texans Twitter is just like racking up the views for McAfee. It must be that.
It has to be like, yeah, throw some catnip out there.
And just like watch him go.
There's so much catnip out there, though. I mean, we are rolling in all of the Texans content that's available. Everyone is hyping them up, and that's why we give you the Deep Steel Blue Pill just about every single day. Everyone, pants tense, they're lasting a while. Don't call your doctor yet. Wait until they lose a couple of games in September to start freaking out about that.
I can't wait.